It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon of the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories are watching this Thursday, November 7. Typhoon Marcy has further intensified as of 2 p.m. It was last spotted over the coastal waters of Santa Ana, Cagayan, where it will make landfall this afternoon. Marcy is expected to make another landfall along the coast of northwestern mainland Cagayan. Signal number 4 is over these areas. Meantime, signal number 3 is hoisted over some parts of Luzon. Number 2 and 1 remain over several areas as well. House Quad Committee Co-Chair Stephen Paduano is frustrated over former President Duterte's absence in today's hearing. He cites an assurance from Duterte's lawyer earlier that his client will attend the inquiry after November 1. Meantime, Representatives Dan Fernandez and Benny Abante are willing to temporarily vacate their House chairmanships. That's amid allegations from former Mandaluyong Police Chief Colonel Hector Grijaldo that the lawmaker supposedly pressured him to confirm the drug war's reward system. The Justice Department has formed a task force to probe killings linked to the drug war. Senior justice prosecutors will lead the group's operation. They will also coordinate with House and Senate committees conducting probes into alleged extrajudicial killings. NCR Police Chief Major General Sidney Hernia and PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group Director Major General Francis Cariaga have been placed under a 10-day suspension. No reason was given for the sanction. These officials led the raid at an alleged online scam den in Manila on October 29. 69 foreign nationals were arrested and later on released in that operation. And the country's GDP growth has slowed to 5.2% in the third quarter. This is down from the 6.4% posted in the second quarter. NEDA says the slower growth is due to weather disruptions impacting agriculture, industry, and services. In the U.S., everybody is still talking about the stunning political comeback of Donald Trump. How did he manage it? Here are some insights from the Associated Press.
Donald Trump has scored a decisive victory in a deeply divided nation. So, how did he do it? The Republican president-elect exposed fundamental weaknesses within the Democratic base and beat back concerns over his moral failings. Incomplete returns show that Donald Trump's criminal convictions, additional pending indictments, and any concerns over his rhetoric simply were not a sufficient concern to keep tens of millions of Americans from voting for him. He will be the first U.S. president with a felony conviction. Trump ultimately won over voters with grand promises to improve the economy, block the flow of immigrants on the southern border, and his call to make America great again.
My message to Americans tonight is simple. We do not have to live this way. We don't. We do not have to settle for weakness, incompetence, decline, and decay. With your vote tomorrow, we can fix every single problem our country faces and lead America.
About half of Trump voters said inflation was the biggest issue factoring into their election decision, and about as many said that about the situation at the U.S.-Mexico border, according to AP Votecast. Ultimately, Trump's victory may have had as much to do with the fundamental challenges Harris faced all along. Facing deep voter frustration over the direction of the country, with Biden's approval rating dismal, she never did distance herself from her party's sitting president. Now Democrats are left to wonder how to reconnect with parts of the country and slices of the electorate that rejected them.
And joining us today on the Storycon, our resident political powerhouse, Tito Ronald Llamas. Tama-tama ka pang brownout. And from the Philippine Star, Editor-in-Chief Ami Pamintuan from Parañaque.
Hindi ko sigurado kung compliment yun.
Compliment yun. Pag nag-brownout, pahawakan ito na ano.
Ganda nga po, Ami.
Pahawakan tayo extension cord.
Good afternoon, Ronald and
Good afternoon, Ami. Oh, Ami, it's the day after.
yes.
Mukhang may PTSD ba yung mga Democrats?
Talagang PTSD.
May PTSD pa.
Hindi, nag-concede na eh. Nag-concede na si Kamala Harris At nag-congratulate na si President Biden. Nagpadala na siya ng congratulation kay Trump.
Hindi,
So,
yung mga
tapos na boxing, no?
yung mga
Wala
leaders
na
nila.
magpaprotesta.
PTSD dahil yung mga leaders nila at mga members nagsisimula na magsisihan. Nagsisisihan na.
Oo nga, sinisisi daw si Biden actually. Yun yung mga istorya, sinisisi daw si Biden. Hindi, it was an anti-government vote, di ba? Yan naman yung,
Yes.
yan yung tingin ng mga tao, yun yung analysis, general analysis. It was an anti-government vote and Trump fed into the discontent at sinabi niya, siya yung sagot doon sa
He's the
discontent na yun.
answer to all the problems.
Pero a problem also of turnout. Dahil maraming Democrats hindi nag-turn out. Mas marami
Hindi
pa yung
bumoto. Yun
mas
na,
marami
isa
pa
pa
yung
rin yun.
independents. Mas
Yun
marami pa
din
yung
yung protesta
independents.
nila.
Ibig sabihin, medyo may sama ng loob yung mga ibang Democrats na
Kaya nga may problema.
Hindi nila binoto yung kandidato nila.
Kaya parehong yung Republican saka yung Democrat hindi bumoto. Kaya na nangyari. Landslide, ano? Medyo may sabit na naman dyan yung mga survey firms, ano? Sabi nila, everyone was saying it was a tight race. It was not a tight race, it was not even close, it was a rout.
O,
Diba?
tanong natin yung isang sa US na hindi ko lang bumoto to o nagbiron lamang. Yung kasama nating si Jovenel Francisco live from Washington, D.C. Joby, ikaw ba yung
Hi,
nag-flying voter?
Joby.
Hi, Job.
Hi,
Joby.
Mama Abby. Hello. Baka ayan, may audio pala ako.
Yeah,
Hello.
meron ka.
Interesting yung pinag-uusapan nyo, no, na parang nagsisisihan na sila. Dalawa yung alam mo naman, Ed, gate crasher lang ako dito. So naka-gate crash ako sa dalawang events today.
Oh, ano?
Yung isa, yung COMELEC activity sa embassy para doon sa online voting ng mga PhilAm sa May 2025.
Okay.
Mamaya natin pag-usapan yun. That's not part of the election story.
Huwag tayo masyadong
Dito
mayabang sa US
Amerika.
elections kasi baka payatay next year eh.
kaya nga. Ang pag-usapan natin, yung before to, pumunta ako dun sa sabi nga nila, literal na nagdo-drown ng kanilang mga sarili ng alak ang mga Democrats. So, I went to this, sa Mayflower Hotel dito, Ronald, baka alam mo, sabi nila, lugar ng mga lobbyist yan eh. So, pinuntahan ko, dahil nandoon daw, Ronald, yung mga Ma'am Ami, yung mga hindi naman campaign kundi yung mga supporters na tumulong doon sa campaign ay nandoon dahil after ng concession diyan pumunta kanina. So nandoon sila at ang pinag-uusapan nga yan, tama kayo, no? Double I daw, the inflation at saka yung immigration issues hit them hard. Tapos yun nga yung konting panahon na binigay, just more than two months for
100
Kamala
days.
to step in and campaign. So yan ang mga iniisip nila. Pero may interesting ako sabihin sa inyo kasi nalaman nilang Pilipino, akong nandoon na nakikimarites sa mga gawain nila. No? They have data, no? At ang data nila, nagulat sila kasi kung sa hawak daw nilang data before the elections, mas maraming PhilAms ang boboto for the Democrat party. Pero nagulat sila sa turnout at tinatanong paano nangyari. Tapos parang meron pa silang duda na yung mga names sa hawak nila may not be mga Hispanic.
Registered.
Dahil kapilido natin, baka karamihan ng mga nasa data nila ay Pilipino. So nagtataka sila ano ang naging dahilan kung bakit mas sumuporta daw yung Filipino-American voters kay Trump. So they want to study that kasi meron silang data about.
But are they sure that they were Filipino voters? Kasi ang dami nakapansin na
Yeah,
yung
exactly.
young male Latino voters shifted
Yes.
to Trump. Pareho tayong apelido.
Exactly. Isa yan sa mga gusto lang tingnan. Kasi yung isa nakausap ko ay talagang siya yung nagde-data mine. Sabihin yung mga data, siya yung may hawak. Mukhang kailangan daw niyang tignan dahil baka may mali sa modeling nila kung ano pa man. Mas alam ni Ronald yung system kung paano ginagamit yung data ng voters sa ganyang pangangampanya.
Actually, lahat
Saka
ng
Joby,
subgroups,
sabi sa amin ni Gabe Young, yung mga older generations ng PhilAm Republican.
Or conservative,
Yung mga
yeah.
bata naman daw, sabi niya, na Democrat, na-disillusion nga dun sa Biden administration, particularly over yung foreign policy sa Gaza. At hindi daw bumoto. So,
May mga hindi
siguro
nga
yun ang
bumoto.
tingnan nila, hindi
Yeah.
nagsiboto. Hindi nagsiboto yung constituency ng Democrat.
Actually,
Sila,
lahat ng...
Mama Ami, may ano yan eh, merong basis yung duda na baka hindi nagsiboto. No? Kasi alam nila dahil may data sila, no? Di ba alam natin na pwedeng tigil na yung kampanya nga nung weekend at saka nung Monday at least hanggang 3 o'clock nung Monday. Pero hindi talagang nag-radio show hopping pa eh. Si Kamala, di ba, hanggang gabing-gabi na ay ginagawa pa. So talagang meron silang duda na baka hindi lumabas to vote ang mga tao.
Yes.
Mukhang ganun nga.
Sa post-election data, mas marami pang lumabas na independents kesa sa Democrats. Yun yung...
Exactly.
Tapos
Yeah.
lahat ng subgroups, except the blacks, voted for Trump. Hispanics, Asians, Indians, Phil-Ams, bumoto sila kay Trump. So yung mga blacks lang yung medyo lamang si Hillary. Especially yung... sorry.
Kamala.
Si Kamala. Tapos
Kamala.
yung Hispanics went out in droves for Trump.
For Trump. Ang naging backbone, Ma'am Ami, I'm sure na nabasa mo to. Ang talaga nagpakitang gilas at saka talaga lumabas for Kamala ay ang mga kababaihan dito sa Amerika.
Yes.
Yes.
May data, meron silang data about it na talagang sila yung
Yun yung over the abortion issue yun eh.
It was
That
a-
was over the reproductive health issue, yung abortion, yung na-overturn yung Roe versus Wade, na mukhang hindi na siya ma-overturn uli.
It was a
Sustained na yan ngayon.
it was a gender
Yeah.
and generational issue. Gender dahil yung mga whites na mga lalaki bumoto kay Trump. Tapos yung mga college undergrads, yung mga high school graduates bumoto kay Trump. Na mas marami kaya sa mga graduates.
Bok, may interesting article yung analysis yung Time magazine about yesterday. Sabi na in the last leg of the campaign, si Trump shifted gears he eschewed mainstream media and went after yung young males. So he went for podcasts kung saan yung mga lalaki with this hyper masculine messaging dun nakikinig yung mga lalaki. And he hammered consistently on the issues nga of inflation and immigration, kung saan yung mga lalaki, siyempre, feeling nila, I had to be protective. Well, at least feeling nila.
Actually, Ami, hindi naman totally mali yung mga surveys. Dahil yung swing states, yung 7, 95 electoral votes yun. Nakuha lahat yun ni Trump. Pero yung pandyan, yung pagkapanalo ni Trump dun sa swing votes are within the margin of error. Pero panalo siya. Kaya winner take all kasi yan eh. Kaya nakuha niya yung 95. No? Pero yung mga dati ng mga states na blue at saka red, hindi naman nagbago eh. Hindi naman nagbago yun.
Yeah.
Ang talaga nagbago yung swing states na very thin yung margin pero winner take all. Nakuha ni Trump lahat yon. Dati kasi before the election, 4 for Trump, dalawa ang tied at isa para kay Kamala. Well, ang nangyari, lahat yon ay nakuha, especially yung tied na Pennsylvania, yung pinaka-crucial. Kaya hindi naman totally mali yung survey na 7 states, swing states will determine the election. 95 electoral college votes yun. Yun yung na-sweep ni Trump.
Mali pa rin.
Oo, yun yung na-sweep niya.
Mali pa rin yun. It was not a tight race.
Yeah.
Hindi lang naman sa US nagkakamali, kahit di naman dun sa UK eh. Pumalpak din yung mga pollster doon over Brexit eh. Sinisi nga sila ng gobyerno eh. Nung pumalpak sila, they had to conduct a post-mortem dahil nag-aalala yung UK noon na they are relying on the polling dahil napaka-reliable previously and they are using the polls to guide their policy. Sumemplang doon sa Brexit. Kaya pinag-aralan pa nila kung ano nangyari. Hanggang ngayon, I don't think there's a decisive kung ano, basta inaayos nila yung kanilang mga modeling for polling. Siguro there's a lesson there for our survey firms.
At dahil very tight yung race, halimbawa Michigan, yung Arab Americans doon ay talagang bumoto against Kamala because over Gaza. Kaya talagang nakuha ni Trump yung Michigan. Tapos sa Pennsylvania naman, yung pa-flip-flop ni Kamala over the fracking, support, anti, malaki yung epekto sa kanya. Siyempre, yung sa mga border states, yung Nevada at saka Arizona, talagang immigration ang dominant issues dyan.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Pero bakit yung mga Latino nakuha niya?
Well, yung
He got
marami...
the Latin vote.
Yes, pero marami sa Latino doon na sa mga strong points ng ng Republican. Bawa sa Miami. Talagang nananalo naman talaga si Trump doon eh. Nadagdagan lang yung mga boto niya because of the Hispanic votes. Yung decisive talaga yung 7 na swing states. No?
what is it with Florida, Bok? Bakit yung Latino community doon is...
Di ba
quite-
galing ko niyan?
is Cuba,
Mga galing
Cuban issue?
Cuba, galing sa iba pang Latin American
It's
states.
the
Diyan nagpuntahan.
The Castro ghost.
Hindi lang, pati yung climate. Ibig sabihin, conducive yan para sa mga Latino. Ayaw nila sa masyadong malamig. Eh. yung Florida kasi, mas consistent sa klima nila. Eh.
No, what I mean is, why the propensity for Florida to vote Republican? Baka nga it's the Cuban issue eh, the ghost of Castro from the Cold War and the Bay of Pigs and all that and all of that factoring into the we were betrayed.
Could be. Pero halimbawa,
Parang
nung
JFK yun.
labanan ni Bush at saka ni Gore, halos tabla dyan eh. Huwag mong kalimutan,
Oo,
ang,
nasa Supreme Court,
ang nagpasya sa Florida was the Supreme Court, not the voters. No,
that's
yun
true.
yun. Kaya hindi naman ganun lagi yung Florida.
Jovi, nakipag-usap ka ba uli sa embassy natin?
Oo, nasa embassy ako
Postmortem.
kanina. Nandun ako sa
Oo.
embassy kanina, Ma'am Ami, kasi sakto na may roadshow ang Commission on Elections natin dito sa Northern America. So ang next stop nila is Canada after this. Pero they observe the elections ngayon dito. Siyempre meron mahirap ikumpara yung sistema ng election natin sa sistema at kung paano. Yun lang sa walkthrough natin nung isang araw, Ed, di ba, doon sa voting precinct. Medyo ibang-iba tayo, no? Kesa sa kanila. So anyway, nandito sila because of the fact na ang USA o yung mga PhilAbs ang kasama doon sa mga una na makakapag-avail no online voting sa May 2025 elections. So, yan, parang maninibago yung mga Filipino, so kailangan talaga nilang PhilAbs pala. Kaya kailangan nilang i-orient. Kaya
Online
sila
voting?
nagpunta dito.
Online voting. You mean hindi mo kailangan punta ng embassy o consulate? Hindi mo kailangan
That's it.
Yeah.
Hindi, oo. Yeah. Kasama dyan ng
Hindi ba delikado yun?
Andun tayo sa Facebook, gano'n?
Ma'am Ami, yan ang concern ng mga Pilipino kanina. Ang daming nagtatanong doon sa mga Comelec commissioners natin kung safe ba to? At saka hindi ba mananakaw ang identity ko? Lalo at may biometrics, kikitain pati yung mukha ko, may kita at pwedeng mamanipulate pa. So mga ganyan mga concerns.
Pero Joby, kumpara sa ibang elections, halos walang nagsampa ng kaso rito sa election na ito. Kaya ang bilis eh.
You mean to
Diba?
US elections?
Hindi, kumpara sa previous elections. Doon, dami doon legal cases eh. Dito wala eh, halos eh. Diba?
Kasi nanalo si Trump. Nanalo si Trump.
Kaya nga.
Isang flood yan.
Pero inaasahan kasi natin noon, kahit yung mga Democrats pwede magsampa ng kaso.
Yeah,
Pero wala silang nakita na at least major election fraud. Ang naglabas lang the night before was si Trump sa Philadelphia. Ang kanyang sinabing statement, massive cheating. Kaya nagulat ako ron eh. That was the night before. Sinabi niya, there's massive cheating in Philadelphia. Sabi niya gano'n. Yun lang, pero walang
Jovi, sino
kaso.
yung Comelec official dyan? Kasi ang story dito, ang takeaway daw ng Comelec from the US elections, hihigpitan daw nila yung monitoring nila sa social media. Yun lang naman, hindi yung sa bilangan. Actually, ang issue sa kanila from 2022, yung IP address, yung IP address yun, which is still unresolved. Pero ang sinasabi nila, ang matututuhan nila dito, magtatighten daw sila ng rules sa social media use. Yun.
Yeah. Oo, tama. Nandito kanina, Ma'am Ami, andito si Commissioners Marlon Casquejo, Socorro Inting, Amy Ferolino, and Commissioner Nelson Celi. Si Commissioner Marlon Casquejo kasi
Siyempre, US,
Commissioner Marlon Casquejo.
Lahat na sila yan. Pero lang si chairman.
Wala si chairman. Si Commissioner Casquejo ang may hawak ng online voting sa kanyang mga kamay nakalagay ito, no. So kaya siya yung umiikot. Yung iba, nandoon sumama lang. Tama.
Di mo ba sila tinanong, di mo ba sila tinanong, Joe, ba't ang dami nila?
Oo nga. Bakit nandiyan sila lahat?
Hindi ko tinanong. pero-
Mag-eleksyon dito.
Yung dami ng stops nila. May stop sa may stop sa San Francisco, may stop sa LA, may stop dito.
Kaya nga.
Tapos magka-Canada. Yeah.
Panghuli,
Siyempre may
Joe.
staff pa yun, Mama Ami. May mga staff pa. Oh.
Kaya nga.
Panghuli, Joe.
Gastos natin yan.
Hindi ba kinakabahan yung mga PhilAm dyan ng yung threat ni Trump ng mass deportation?
Yun yung nakikita ko sa mga message thread, hindi lang sa local, Facebook dyan na nakabase sa mga Pilipinas. Maski dito sinasabi doon sa mga sounding boards na parang sure ba kayo dyan kasi baka parte tayo ng mga doon sa mga mapapadeport o kaya ay yung hindi mo maramdamang welcome ka dito pero maraming bumoto sa kanya dito, Ronald hindi maikakaila.
And also kasi those who are there already legally are, I suppose, a bit protective of the way that they did it. We did it the right way, so everybody else has to. So may ganun din siguro yun.
Yeah. Si John, yun ang sinabi sa atin kahapon, di ba? The Republicans are for legal immigration. Yan ang sinabi niya. Hindi daw sila anti-immigration, they are for legal immigration.
Maraming
Diba?
maraming mga Pilipino ang illegal.
Ayun ang problema.
Pero hindi
Yan
naman
ang
sila makaboto
problema.
Okay po.
At ang unang nambubus ka sa kanila online ay yung kapwa Pilipino. Medyo, may mga ganun na flavor
Hindi,
yun.
isusumbong pa sila ng mga yun.
Yes.
Oo.
Okay po, si Joby, pakawalan natin dahil alas 3:30 ng umaga dyan, no?
Oo nga.
Si Joby, baka may larga pen yan. Sige.
Sige. Okay.
Pinakita ko sa'yo, nakita mo ba, Ed, na parang naglalasing na yung mga pinuntahan namin.
Pinadala ni Bing Branning yung picture eh.
Oo, yung litrato.
Naiiyak-
May mga
naiiyak-
litrato pinadala.
Naiiyak na nga si Gabe eh.
Pero yung magnanusin,
Hindi, pero galit siya kay Hillary.
Yeah.
Dahil hindi daw nagpakita sa
Hillary
kanila.
ka na naman.
Ay, kay Kamala. Dahil hindi
Kay
daw
Kamala.
hindi daw nagpakita.
Sige.
Ang tagal.
Bro, magsasabi ko na kay
Yeah.
Christian.
Thank you.
Senior moment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joby.
Obinan Francisco, reporting live from Washington. We were talking about social media kanina and when voting online. Quick singit lang. Australia is planning to pass laws banning children below 16 from social media.
Ba?
Oo, ito. In-announce ni Prime Minister.
Magkakaroon na revolution doon.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said Thursday, Australia will move to pass new laws banning kids under 16 from social media.
Okay.
Paano naman nilang mamonitor yan?
Sabi niya, he also vows to
sige
crack
nga.
down on tech companies failing to protect young users. This one is for the moms and dads. Social media is doing real harm to kids. And I'm calling time on it, he told reporters. Anyway, interesting lang. The way things are moving. Okay, Bok,
Parang
let's...
pagbanya ng TikTok. Hirap na hirap silang gawin.
TikTok mo. Ami, si Marian Enriquez is on the line sa House Quad Committee hearing dyan sa
Sige.
Kongreso. So, pag-usapan natin kung ano
Okay,
ang bago
okay.
dyan, Marian.
Hello, magandang hapon nga sa inyo. At ito nga, kanina nga talaga namang nag-init yung ulo ng ilang mga kongresista dito nga sa pagpapatuloy ng Quadcom hearing tungkol sa extrajudicial killings at drug war ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Hindi na naman kasi ito report yung dating Pangulo. At nag-init yung ulo nga ni Kraft Paduano, ni Chairman ng House Committee on Public Accounts, dahil na nga kung nung unang liham na pupunta na yung Pangulo, si Duterte, after Undas. Pero ngayon nga, no-show na naman itong si Digong at sinabi nga niya, parang natatakot lang ba o natatakot lang daw ba itong si Duterte na humarap? Kasi parang naglolokohan na lang daw sila eh. At ito nga, ngayon lang, sinabi niya, naging emotional, itong kung maalala niyo, si Customs Intelligence Officer Jimmy Guban, nang makita nga niya si Colonel Asierto, yung dismissed din na police, matapos niyang ilabas yung information tungkol doon sa links daw ni Michael Yang na economic advisor ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Kasi nakita sila via Zoom at doon nga, naiyak siya kasi daw at buhay pa sila. And he lamented yung mga ilan pa nilang mga kabaro na namatay na. At ito quote, sinabi niya, ang mga namatay po dyan dahil sa Davao Mafia and their purpose to save the Queen in order to become the next president. That is how ganun nila ginawa. Lahat patayan. End of quote. And ngayon nga, tinatanong siya ni Son Bonghun kung sino kung sinasabing save the Queen in order to become the next president. Hindi na niya ipinaliwanag or nag-refuse siya na magbigay pa ng detalye about that. Patuloy pa rin nga yung pagdinig ngayon.
Marian, saan nila gustong dalhin yung kanilang galit? Saan nila gustong dalhin yung kanilang exasperation? Hanggang doon na lang, magagalit na lang sila? O meron silang gustong gawin tungkol sa hindi pagdalo ni ex-President Duterte?
Kanina nga, nag-motion na si Congressman D. Alonto Adyong kasi sinabi niya, siya naniniwala siya na hindi na talaga sisipot si Digong dito sa kanilang pagdinig sa Quadcom. Kaya siya, ang nagsulat ng liham, si Attorney Martin Delgra, the third kanyang legal counsel ni Duterte, sabi niya, ipatawag na lang natin ito dito sa komite. Dahil nga wala pa rin muso, siya nga nag-promise na pupunta yung kliyente ko sa susunod after ng undas. So yun yung gusto nilang gawin ngayon. Pero as to kung iimbitahan pa ulit si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, mamaya pa nila ulit yung pag-uusapan towards the end ng committee hearing.
Sinabi ba niya kung anong taon ng undas?
No, Marian, nagsalita na si Martin Delgre, nakausap yata ng reporter namin. Sinabi na niya, wala nang balak sumipot si former President Duterte dyan sa Quadcom. Sinabi na ni Martin Delgra, nakuha na daw nila yung formal invitation from the Quadcom, pero wala nang balak pumunta si President Duterte dyan.
Panalo ko sa
Ang
pustahan.
hinihintay na lang natin ngayon, kung iimbitahin pa siya uli nung Senate Subcommittee naman, yung Blue Ribbon. Kasi baka dun sa, mas gusto niya ron meron siyang mga, he turned it into his bully pulpit. So yun, titignan natin kung wala pang word yun, kung magkakaroon ng part 2 yung appearance ni President Duterte sa Senate. Pero yung Quad, wala na yan. Sinabi na nila Martin Delgra, walang balak sumipot si President Duterte.
Hindi niya kasi kontrolado yan.
Wala
yung
siyang
House.
boto dun
Wala siyang base dyan.
Pero Bok, the other question is this, kasi consistently the House has been saying that they will not summon the former president with a mandatory subpoena. Kumbaga, courtesy. They've been saying that for the longest time. Would they change their minds anytime soon because of the refusal, or talagang hindi sila mag-i-insist on his appearance? Marian, any idea? Will they still go with Parliament with the courtesy for the former president, o may pagkakataon, pag-asa bang magbago kanilang isip at ipilit ang pag-appear?
Ganun lang, masama lang loob nila.
Sama ng loob.
Yung motion na ipasapina, hindi natin yan naririnig, no? Kanina, kahit sa galit na si Caraps Paduano, sinabi niya na talagang invite natin to si Delgra, pero yung invitation pa rin natin kay Duterte, ituloy pa rin natin. Yung motion niya yan, hindi pa yun inaksyonan ngayon ng komite, at yun nga alamin natin mamaya.
Kasi nothing stops them from there's no law, I think, there's no law that prevents them from issuing a subpoena against a former president. It's just plain courtesy. So in the end, it's their option if they want to go that way, that direction.
Walang legal impediment doon.
There's no impediment.
Marian, mahalaga yung testimony ni Asierto kanina at ni Guban. Dahil bilanggit nila na dalawang kasama nila, yung isa na barel, yung isa dinukot, hindi pa alam kung ano ngayon. Wala ba silang suspects kung sino gumawa? Halimbawa, yung Master Sergeant na pinatay sa Bulacan. Sino yung pumatay? Sino yung bumarel? No? Wala bang gano'n? Wala bang investigasyon doon? Dahil very significant yun dahil yung grupo nila, yung 5, ay sila yung nag-expose nung role, halimbawa ni Michael Yang, ni Pulong Duterte, ni Mads Carpio, dito sa usapin ng pag-import ng drugs. Kaya very crucial yon.
Tama. Actually, wala pa as to the details kung sino nga yung mga nasa likod dito. Pero, very significant. Itong sinabi niya na ang nasa likod daw nitong mga pagpatay sa mga kakaibigan nga nila, kasamahan nila, Davao Mafia. No? Pero as to ginigrill siya ngayon kung ano yung detalye tungkol dito, ayun ang abangan pa natin.
Sino kaya yun, Ami? Yung Davao Mafia. Sino kaya yun?
Pinangalanan na yan noon nung customs broker, si Mark Taguba. Di ba,
Posible ka ba eh?
nagpakitaan pa ng mga likod sa Nagpakita pa si Bongo ng likod niya doon
Yung
sa
tato.
Senate. Hindi, yung isa ayaw. Si Pulong ayaw ipakita yung likod niya. Si Senator Bongo naghubad kagad eh. Pinakita kagad na wala siyang tato.
Malinis yung likod.
Okay.
Oo, yun.
Okay.
Oo.
Okay.
Kaya anong bago ba dyan? Kasi we've heard the testimony, similar testimonies, not the exact same testimony, yan sa Davao Mafia. Ang bago nga dyan, may napatay pala. Oh.
Okay, Marian, maraming salamat sa iyo. At ingat palagi.
Salamat.
Salamat, Marian.
Thank you,
Enriquez,
Marian.
News 5 correspondent. Let's bring in our guest today, Congressman Joel Chua, Chairman of the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. Sir, magandang hapon and welcome to the Story Conference.
Gandang
Good
hapon,
afternoon,
Congressman.
Yes, sir.
At maraming salamat po sa invitasyon.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. Sir, earlier you were quoted as saying that the Vice President may face impeachment over alleged mismanagement of funds sa OVP. Now, yung lumabas last week, yung mga resibo, supposedly to liquidate a lot of the funding that the OVP got, ang daming questions lumabas eh. So I'm wondering where you are right now as far as determining whether or not impeachment will move forward. Have you made any decisions already? May clarity na ba kung magkakaroon nga ng charges?
Well, insofar as impeachment is concerned, wala pa naman po kami na pag-uusapan about that. The only reason why impeachment was or came out is because I was asked by Ingay.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Opo. The only reason kung bakit po lumabas yun dahil po meron pong nagtanong sa akin if there is a ground for impeachment. So, of course, sinabi ko po kung hindi po nila papaliwanag ng maayos ito, definitely there will be a ground for impeachment.
But you're saying wala pong active movement ngayon sa House to impeach the Vice President. Kaya ko po tinatanong, kasi yun ang sinasabi ng kampo ni Vice President Duterte, na kaya ayaw na daw nilang sumipot dyan, ay the committee daw is just laying the groundwork for her impeachment. Kaya daw ayaw na nila mag-explain sa inyo. That's one of the reasons anyway na sinasite nila. Yun po ang sinasabi nyo na wala namang ganong movement ngayon. No active effort to impeach the Vice President.
So far, wala pa naman po. Ang ginagawa pa naman po namin is this committee hearing which the primary purpose is in aid of legislation.
Nabanggit nyo, Kong, that there may be grounds for impeachment. Yun yung sinagot nyo doon sa nagtanong sa inyo. Pero just in case, even if there is a ground for impeachment, di ba problema yung panahon? Dahil yung session days nyo na lang is less than 2 months. So just in case, halimbawa, magkaroon ng grounds at may mag-file ng impeachment, do you have enough time to do that? Lalo na kung pupunta pa yan sa Senate for the conviction?
Well, if there will be enough time, that is another question. Dahil, siyempre, at the end of the day, pag-uusapan pa yan. Unang-una, we have to release the committee report. Tapos,
Sir? I'm sorry, sir.
Wala po,
Hello?
okay lang
Can
po.
you hear, sir? Sir, sorry, sir.
Okay
Malinaw
po.
kayo sa amin, sir. Malinaw yung audio ninyo.
medyo maingay po ang dating. Ayan po.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Malinaw po, malinaw, Congressman.
Opo, kung meron pong ground, definitely meron na whether kung matutuloy pa po ba to, kung ito po ay papasok pa po because of the limited time, that's another question. And that is something that we have to resolve among members of Congress. Okay.
Pero sir, hindi naman siguro kailangan tapusin ng inyong komite yung kanyang hearing bago mapagdesisyonan kung may grounds to impeach. Am I correct? Or you plan to finish everything and come out with a report first?
Well, sa ngayon kasi halos hindi naman sila dumarating eh. So wala na rin po kaming, unless siguro may mga bagong witness na makuha But insofar as I'm concerned, sana dumating sila in the next scheduled hearing para at least malaman din namin kung ano po talaga ang dapat namin maging resolution dahil napakahalaga po ng kanilang mga sasabihin.
Opo. Yes, sir. Granted, sir, siyempre, maganda to get their side. Pero yun nga, if they refuse to give their side, if they refuse to answer, with what you have, sir, right now, with what you've uncovered, and with the testimonies that you already got from all the sides that are willing to appear, do you believe or do you think that you have sufficient grounds? Or would that be too early?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ulitin mo, Ed.
Sir, ulitin ko lang, sir. Granted nga that, of course, you want to have them appear to give their side. Pero hindi nga po nagpapakita. But with what you have, sir, already, with the testimonies that you've gathered, the evidence you've gathered, do you feel that you have already enough grounds to move forward with a possible impeachment case?
Definitely.
Oh, okay. Okay. So sir, do you have a timetable already in mind?
Well, ako sa tingin ko, mga dalawang hearing na lang to at most siguro at 3. Pero siguro baka 2, enough na siguro.
Mm-hmm.
We will come up with the
A committee report.
resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Committee report.
Yes, sir. And your sir, I don't want to feed I don't want to feed words in your mouth. So tell me lang if I'm getting this right. So after mga 2 committee hearings pa at wala pong sumipot, gagawa na kayong committee report, and you feel strongly that you have grounds already to file impeachment complaints. Tama ho ba?
We have ground, well, hindi na naman po yan ang magiging basis namin. Ang
Yes, sir.
magiging laman po ng committee report, number 1, kung ano po yung mga laws na sa tingin po
Violated.
namin dapat amyendahan.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Number 2, if we will, kung merong grounds for impeachment complaint. Number 3, what are we going to do if we are going to file impeachment or we will file a case against the Vice President. So lahat po yan pag-uusapan po ng mga committee members. Hindi lamang po ako ang magdidesisyon yan, kung hindi buong membro po ng committee.
Yes, sir.
Pag-uusapan pa. So in the meantime, Congressman, yung mga sinabi na po nyo, yung iba nasa abroad daw, yung iba hindi pa rin sigurado. It's a subpoena. Ano po ang next move nyo kapag hindi pa rin sila sumipot? Kapag in-ignore pa rin yung subpoena nyo, hindi po invitation yan, that's a subpoena. Ano yung options ninyo, yung committee?
Siguro magiging option po namin, we will cite them in contempt.
Kapag sinight po in contempt, pwede po silang order na i-detain.
Maaresto at makulong. Yes, tama po kayo.
Okay. Have you received any word from the OVP? Kasi ang balita namin, walang balak yung magsipunta yung mga sinoman nyo.
Well, as of now, wala pa rin eh. Puro mga nag-submit lang sila ng position paper. Sinasabi po nila na wala daw legal basis, walang jurisdiction, so forth and so on.
Wala pong jurisdiction yung committee dun sa mga issue involved. Kasi sinasabi nila, dapat sa COA ba? Ganun ba yung sinasabi nila?
Parang ganun po sinasabi nila. At saka sinasabi rin po nila na wala daw basis yung pagkakandak daw po namin.
Sir, let me back up lang. If I got you correctly kanina, you said definitely there are grounds already to file an impeachment case. If I understood you correctly, sir, there are several grounds that are enumerated in the Constitution for impeachment. Could you be specific as to which particular grounds you are looking at?
Betrayal public trust, 1. Number 2, graft and corruption. Number 3, bribery.
So 3 grounds at least.
At least, at the very least.
Okay. Okay. Ami, anything else?
Di ba kung i-impeach? At what level ba ang kailangan ng approval to initiate an impeachment case?
Well, actually, kung ito isasubmit pa sa Committee on Justice or by two-third votes, po pwede. Yung mga miyembro po ay mag-submit ng articles of impeachment.
A two-thirds votes, sir, of your committee, I mean, to move
All
the
members. Two-third votes of all members
of the
of
committee.
Plenary.
the Congress.
Of the committee.
Plenary.
Di ba, sir, one-third?
Tatlo po kasi ang ano niyan eh. Tatlo po ang po pwedeng para mag-akit ng impeachment. Number
sir.
one, pag may third person po,
Yes, sir.
nai-sponsor po ng
Ng
isang congressman.
Yes, sir.
Opo. Number two po, yung pong resolution ng or yung congressman mismo
Yes, sir.
ay magsusumite or via two-third votes po ng mga miyembro po ng Kongreso.
Okay.
So wala pa, at this point, walang individual na mag-i-initiate nun at naghahanap ng endorser sa House. Wala namang ganong tao ngayon na nagbabalak na mag-file ng impeachment complaint. An individual.
Sa ngayon wala pa po kung alam. Ang naririnig ko lang po yung mga Makabayan Black, 'di ba? Parang mga nagbabanta po sila. But other than that, wala pa po eh. Not even members of the committee, hindi pa rin po namin napag-uusapan yan eh.
Pero pwedeng hindi congressman yung mag-file, di ba, Kong? At i-endorse kailangan ng at least isang congressman. Pero yung magpa-file, hindi naman
pag ipa-file po yan,
necessary.
pag i-endorse po yan ng isang congressman, pag ipa-file po ng isang congressman, dadaan pa po yan sa Committee on Justice. So
Yes.
another time, ano na naman po yan.
Yes.
Magkakaroon na naman po ng delay na naman po yan.
Pero pwede nyo namang bilisan kung gugustuhin nyo.
Well, pwede rin po. But kahit naman anong pong bilis ilang linggo na lang po ba tayo?
Mga 6.
Oo nga eh.
6 na lang.
Oo. Congressman, have you received any word on this issue from the Speaker, si Martin Romualdez?
Wala pong binabanggit po. Wala naman pong sinasabi. Kaya sa totoo lang, yung mga impeachment po, una ko pong narinig yan sa bibig po ni VP Sara. Number two po, mga reporters po nagtatanong sa akin. Ako naman po, sinasagot ko lang po kung meron pong nakikitang grounds. Ito nga po, yung bisa aming pagkakantak ng committee hearing, yun po yung mga tingin ko na nakikita ko po. Unless, siyempre, ito po yung mapaliwanag nila ng maayos.
Pero sir, if you already see those three grounds for impeachment, would you be filing it? Considering that you already identified them.
Well, if we recommend it sa plenary, po pwede pong, siyempre, at the end of the day, numbers game pa rin yan eh.
Yes, sir.
We need the support of one-third members of
One-third, sir.
one-third members of all members of Congress.
Which is not that
So,
hard.
siyempre,
Generally 100, no?
Yeah. Which is not that
Mga
hard for
100,
Congress.
more than 100.
more than
More than 100 din
po.
yan.
Tama po kayo.
Okay. Sige, sir. Abangan
Sige
namin
na.
kung anong
Susunod na
decision niyo.
kabanata.
Sir, huli lang, sir.
Antayin po natin yung susunod na kabanata dahil
Yes, sir.
sa ngayon, ang inaantay pa po namin yung pagsipot po nila sa committee namin.
Yes, sir.
lumpit
Sir,
pa,
sir,
oo.
huli lang, sir. Kasi you were saying nga kanina, parang napaka-iksi na lang ng oras eh. Sa tingin niyo ba, at least at this time, and from your personal opinion, sa tingin niyo ba, ihahabol yan kung sakali bago mag-eleksyon? O hindi na talaga?
Wala, hindi ko po kayo masasagot. Sa totoo lang, hindi ko rin po alam. Wala rin po akong idea dyan.
Sige, sir. Fishing lang ako, fishing.
Okay.
Maraming salamat, sir.
Thank you po, Congressman.
Congressman Joel Chua.
Nakadalawampung taon na po si Ed ko, i-impeach niya si Vice President.
Actually,
Okay na,
Talagang
okay na.
ano namin dito, ang sa akin po talaga dito, ang nakita ko lang po talaga dito, dapat mag-enact po talaga kami ng batas.
In aid of
Nailimit
Ano
po sa
legislation.
pong
mga
batas yung
ahensya.
iniisip niyo yun nga pala, Congressman? Ano pong batas specifically yung pwedeng
Well,
ma-enact?
kitang-kita na po eh. kitang-kita na po na dapat po talaga yung mga ahensya o departamento na walang kinalaman po sa intelligence gathering, dapat hindi po nabibigyan. Kaya kailangan po mag-set na po kami ng parameters pagdating po dito sa paggamit po ng confidential fund.
Actually, as an observer of 2 impeachment processes na umabot sa Senado, it can be done. It's just about
Kaya
political
na po
will.
yung pang 21.
It's just about political will.
Okay. Mag-take na tayo kay Congressman
Thank you,
Joe Chua. Sir, magandang
Congressman.
hapon and thank you for being with us. Joe
Salamat,
Chua,
Kong.
Chairman ng Committee on Good Government and Public
Ay,
Accountability.
maraming salamat din po sa inyo.
Thank you, sir. And
Thank
thank you
you.
for joining Circle today. Ami Pamintuan, the bossing of the Philippine Star, and Tito Ron Llamas, the bossing of all political pundits. Join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Storycon. I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.